And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Guys, I've seen a video today that really irked me, to be perfectly honest with you. Essentially, it's an American woman who's obviously on vacation, I suppose, in Ireland, and again, is complaining and saying things are racist within their culture. Bearing in mind, she's a foreigner inside another country, and for this bit in particular video, it's Ireland. However, they are sort of closely aligned, and what you get in Irish shops are kind of exactly the same as to what you kind of get in the United Kingdom. But let's get one thing straight here. Ireland and Britain is not America. We do not share the same historical context, the same cultural battles, or the same hypersensitive rules that govern what people can wear on Halloween over there. So when an American woman tries to lecture UK and Irish people about costumes, like in this instance, an American Indian outfit, calling them racist, she's importing the American culture war baggage into our country and our culture where it simply does not apply. As stated, we don't live under America's framework or racial framework. In the US, everything is filtered through race. Every costume, every phrase, every interaction is policed. In Britain and Ireland, Halloween costumes are exactly what they're meant to be. Costumes. We don't sit around dissecting October 31st for microaggressions. A costume is not an endorsement nor an attack on somebody's culture. You know, dressing as a Viking, for example, a samurai, a Roman, a pharaoh, a cowboy, or an American Indian in this instance is not a political statement. It's dressing up as an iconic figure from history or mythology. It's cultural interest, not cultural hatred. And bearing in mind as well, Ireland never had a conflict with Native American sort of tribes. And the outrage is selective and very inconsistent with regard to these individuals. Because it's funny how the same people who say dressing as American Indian is racist, but they have no issue with dressing as a Viking, have no issue with dressing as a Scottish Highlander costume, have no issue with other sort of outfits either. So I do find this sort of video kind of annoying, and I'm going to let you watch it for yourself. So yeah, have a watch of this.
I'm an American living in Dublin, and this costume shop has some of the most offensive costumes I've seen that would not fly in America at all. I'm about to show you guys. Like, this is seriously so ridiculous. We have the indigenous headdress that they called Indian. We have a Mexican poncho. They also have a costume called basketball player with a white man wearing an afro and the back being titled Viking balls. Like, am I losing my mind right now? Now that I'm home, I feel like I can speak on this a little bit better. I understand that every country is going to be different with how they approach race, racism, cultures, and their understanding of the world. But I don't care like what side of the spectrum you're on. Cosplaying someone in that way, I just don't think in any part of the world that should be viewed as something that's okay. The same way we take blackface really seriously is the same way we need to approach other cultures, because there's so many petitions that have been signed. There has been so much done to progress not having those types of costumes, so to still see them exist somewhere else is like just very jarring. And I know at the end of the day, most of the accountability and being against this has to go towards the companies that are still creating this. Like, I believe the basketball one specifically, there was a lot of French on it and it looked like it was owned by a French brand. So I'm not even necessarily putting this just on Ireland or saying Ireland is the only place that's selling this, because this is most likely happening in other European countries. So I do want to get that out of the way, because I don't believe the Irish people are at fault here. I do believe the company that was like the shop that was selling it shouldn't have ordered those items, and the company that's making it shouldn't make those items. But yeah, that's just my thoughts and my observations. Just being an American living abroad, especially in Europe, you just learn so much and you see so much on how far behind certain countries are in regards to the perception of race and racism. America gets a lot of slack for it, and Americans, like, we make everything about race, we make everything about racism, but the thing is that stuff like that is the reason why we do, because the stuff that seems the most harmless actually does the most damage and continues stereotypes and furthers an agenda that should not be uplifted.
More to the point, I do find when foreigners come to a country, they really need to stop questioning on how other countries sort of police things. I really don't like it. And this is nothing against America whatsoever. We just kind of have, and for this instance, this is not how American people really see it. This is more like a liberal standpoint on things. And I know the Americans, Republicans, hate the American liberals anyway. I see like sort of meme pages about it. But it goes for any sort of foreign culture going into another nation and telling them what to do, telling them what they can and can't dress up as for this example. I find it very, very frustrating. In other news, Sir Keir Starmer would lose in a leadership contest against former Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner, a bombshell new opinion poll has revealed. More than half of the 1,013 Labour Party members surveyed, 52%, would side with Ms Rayner, as opposed to just 33% who lean towards Sir Keir, an astonishing 19 percentage point difference. The poll also found that a total of 4 rivals, including Andy Burnham, Ed Miliband, and Wes Streeting, would trump the Prime Minister. More than half of Labour members want a new leader in number 10 before the next election, a Survation poll for Labour list found. Additionally, a plurality of members who had previously backed Sir Keir in the 2020 leadership race want a new leader, at 41% to 40%. According to The Telegraph, the former Deputy Prime Minister is getting her ducks in a row for a leadership bid. Ms Rayner resigned from her role in September after it had been revealed that she had underpaid stamp duty on a second home. Earlier this month, it had been reported that Ms Rayner had joined soft left group Tribune, something seen as a vehicle for any potential leadership challenge. And just last week, the Ashton-under-Lyne MP refused to rule out any potential challenge, defiantly stating that she had not gone away. The idea she'd want to be in the heart of the storm again right now is for the birds, one ally said. But if things kick off again after the May elections, then who knows? It has been suggested that the threshold needed to mount a leadership contest has already been reached. While Ms Rayner would trump Sir Keir if any such contest was to be held imminently, she still sits behind Mr Burnham. Meanwhile, Sir Keir recently praised Mr Burnham for doing a really good job as the Mayor of Manchester. Mr Burnham himself also refused to rule out a potential leadership challenge against the Labour leader. When pressed if he could categorically rule out any challenge, Mr Burnham told the BBC, "I am not going to sit here this morning and rule out what might or might not happen because I don't know what the future will hold." When asked again about any potential challenge, Mr Burnham said, "I am not in a position this morning to do that." The conversation about Mr Burnham's potential ambitions blew up earlier in the week, when MP for Norwich South Clive Lewis said he would give up his seat so that the mayor, who sat in Parliament between 2001 and 2017, could challenge Sir Keir. The mayor of Greater Manchester had earlier said he couldn't have brought forward a plan of the kind I've brought forward today without being fully focused on my role as mayor of Greater Manchester. Mr Burnham told The Telegraph back in September that he never ruled out going back to Westminster, while revealing that Labour MPs had privately encouraged him to oust the Prime Minister. "I'm providing leadership on growth, which is what I think the country needs and is helpful to the government right now, and we're doing in advance of the budget. I hope to really bring to life the growth story for the government," he said. "In Greater Manchester, we've built a new economy and a new way of doing politics, and more of that is what the country needs." What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you've not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.